All right, guys, I am here. It is day one of PAX. Pow! And I have been invited by Square Enix to get an advanced look at Visions of Mana. I'm going in there. I'm going to play a bit. I literally cannot even record while I'm in there. I'm recording myself now before I go in, and I will give my first impressions as soon as I come out. I'll catch you on the other side.
What's going on, fam? I'm Josh, you can call me Anoriand, and this video is a little bit different. See, about a week ago, it was PAX 2024 in Boston, and I got a special opportunity with Square Enix to check out Visions of Mana before the game comes out. I got to go in, play a special demo, and kind of do a couple of things with the game. I got an early look that I'm really excited to share. So with this video, I'm just gonna kind of flow a bit, just kind of throw out my thoughts and everything. I'll have some footage for you while I'm doing it, but it's gonna be a little bit less structured since it's not really a review. So I will tell you from the beginning, my thoughts are very good, and I'm really excited. So let's go ahead and dive into what's coming up. Now, I usually use this part of the reviews to tell you, about the series, but this isn't a full review of the game. Just talking about what I did play. So instead, I'll keep it simple. I love the Mana series. Love it. While I technically did start with Secret of Mana, I only ever rented it as a kid, and I never beat it until I was an adult and got my own copy. The game in the series that made me fall in love with it is Legend of Mana on the PS1. So I've basically been all in on this series for a quarter century now. Visions of Mana, the new upcoming game, is the first new mainline entry since Heroes of Mana in 2007 for the original DS. It's been a minute, y'all. So needless to say, I was excited for this one, and when Square invited me to check it out, I couldn't possibly say no. The hands-on demo came in 2 parts and gave about an hour of playtime, with the first half being in a huge space made to play around and explore and look for side quests and stuff, and the second half being a more traditional Mana experience where we went through a path with some slight exploration but a very clear way forward and a boss at the end. I spent plenty of time exploring, and before I get into anything else, I need to say the game looks gorgeous. If you played the Trials of Mana remake, you have an idea of what to expect here in terms of aesthetic, but they really went all out. Colors are bright and pop, with everything having a clear and defined look that echoes Mana as a series so well. The party characters all look distinct from each other, but all clearly look like they fit the world, as do classic enemies like Killer Bees and Shaban Hoods, which look clean and cute, but are also very high def. The game has a class change system that I'll get into, but one of the hallmarks is that each character has multiple class options, and all of them look very clearly different from each other, which is awesome, but again, all still within that Mana feel with bright colors and sharp aesthetics. Everything stands out, and I just kept getting blown away by how constantly pretty everything was, from the world to the creatures to the attacks to the characters. Speaking of characters, they all don't just look different, they also feel very different from one another. The protagonist, Val, defaults to using a giant two-handed blade, and you feel the weight and impact of each of his blows, but also the wind-up. Meanwhile, the Catboy Marley fights mainly with a rapier, and each of his blows is quick and precise, leading to a combat style focused more on blitzing and dodging, which he ended up becoming my favorite during the demo. I say things like defaults to and mainly because class changing's the thing. But unlike in Trials of Mana, it doesn't necessarily just change your clothes and some secondary abilities. No, some, but not all, of the class changes actually change a character's entire loadout. Val starts with a big old claymore, yeah, but bond him with the Moon Elemental? He becomes an Aegis, wielding a giant shield in his left hand and a big old lance in his right. Morley, with his rapier? Slap the Wind Elemental on him, and all of a sudden he's got a dagger in both hands and one in his tail. And now he starts doing flips and turns when he's attacking. He basically turns into like a rolling ball of death. Class changes are linked to the elemental spirits, which is a staple of the Mana series. And only one character can be bonded to a spirit for a class change at a time, but you can class change freely from the menu at any given time, meaning you're encouraged to constantly change them around and find what's the best setup for any given area as enemies and things you're going against change. As far as the combat goes, just because it's simple doesn't mean it's boring. Battles are fun and effective, with simplicity that fits the Mana series as we know it, but with enough options beyond your attacks in the form of spells, items, elemental attacks, and CS strikes that you have plenty of tools to get the job done without needing the complexity of things like a stagger gauge with pressure indicators or building skill types with a flow pattern. I love those things too, don't get me wrong. I've been streaming Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and it might be my game of the year. But I truly enjoy when I can just engage with a game and don't have to min-max every minute of combat and can instead focus on enjoying just what's in front of me. Visions of Mana won't change the world, but it will be engaging enough to enjoy without straining, and I think that's just what I need after something like FF7 Rebirth. The last thing I want to call out is the sound design. The music in classic Mana form immediately engaged me and was fun, and I'll be excited to hear the whole OST. But what I really want to call out is the voice acting. As much as I loved Trials of Mana, some of the voice acting was hit or miss, and that's coming from me, who didn't have a problem with the likes of Kevin or Charlotte. But the VA work in Visions of Mana, across all the main characters and sub-characters you see in the demo, was great. Everything feels good and natural, and it immediately got rid of my one worry about this game. I am totally all in. Overall, I left that session far more excited about Visions of Mana than when I entered. The game is going to be something special. I just know it. And it's going to be a visual feast, and I'm excited to return to a world that's both new and kind of familiar with things like the Mana Tree and everything. Visions of Mana is dropping this summer, 2024. It's dropping on PS4, PS5, Xbox Series S and X, Steam, and just a Windows non-Steam release as well. And y'all should absolutely keep an eye on it and be ready, because this is going to be a truly great game. I would be shocked, even just with what I played and with as great as this year looks, if it doesn't end up in my top 10. It's been sitting in my head since PAX nonstop. So I'm really, really excited, and I hope you guys are too. And thank you again, Square Enix, so much for the opportunity. I really hope I get to work with y'all on the release of the game, but either way, oh God, it's so great, and I'm really just happy I got to explore it, and I can be so excited for this game. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, y'all. My name's Josh. You can call me Anoriand. I love y'all, appreciate y'all, I thank y'all, and until next time, I'll catch you later, fam. All
right, y'all. I just got out of there. I'm going to give you, quick abridged thoughts. This game is going to rule. It's so good. It's so good. The best I can say is aesthetically, in terms of the combat, in terms of the graphics, in terms of everything. I love Trials of Mana. It was legit forget taking Trials of Mana to 11. What if we took it to 17? I love the combat. There's a quick class change mechanic on the drop of a hat, so you're never locked into anything. Some of the characters really changed up their playstyle while you're playing it. Morley is already my favorite. I love his super fast combat style. All of them play and feel very different. The elemental attacks are cool. The CS attacks are cool. I'm sure I'm going to get into a better breakdown when I'm actually properly recording this, but this is just so much fun. I'm so excited. Man, this is a hell of a way to start PAX. 100%. That game is absolutely got to be on your playlist if you like action RPGs at all. It's fun. It's colorful. It looks really good. The particle effects look great. And I'm just really excited to start exploring, to start running around, to start doing everything. Hell yeah. Let's get it.